Breaking news. I know you guys are tired of hearing that shit, because I know I am. Trump just announced that Chicago will be the next target for federalized crackdown with military. There's a few things that we need to understand here. What he's doing in D.C. is bullshit, but it's not illegal. It's not a constitutional crisis. Trump does have jurisdiction in D.C. to do what he's doing. However, he does not have jurisdiction to do that in any other state. And of course he's focusing on the blue states first, even though they are not the highest ones in crime. He went on to say that little African American ladies are begging for him to come and take care of their city as they wear red hats. I need you to understand something. This is completely against our Constitution and will be considered a constitutional crisis. Not that MAGA gives a shit about the Constitution whatsoever. You have to understand these are the first steps to martial law. If this doesn't scare you, it should.
I really am honored that the National Guard has done such an incredible job working with the police, and we haven't had to bring in the regular military, which we're willing to do. We have to. And after we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe also. We're going to make our country very safe. We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this. And it won't even be tough. And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one. But they're wearing red hats. African-American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago. Please. I did great with the black vote, as you know, and they want something to happen. So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York, and we're going to help with. And I think a lot of these people that you see on television, they are, including the people in this audience, they'll say bad things about me, and then they'll say, "Thank God he's here," because half of them got mugged, and they don't want to get mugged again. But they work for they work for stupid people that are radical left. And they're made to do things and say things that they don't want to be saying. But the people right here are all happy because you're not going to be mugged in Washington, D.C. anymore.
Friends, we have some breaking news coming out of Washington, D.C. According to President Trump, his takeover over Washington will not stop there. New York and Chicago are next. Just today, Trump called Chicago a mess and threatened to bring in the National Guard to do the same thing that he did to Washington, D.C. He's even considering bringing regular military to clean it up. Then straight after Chicago, New York will be next. He didn't stop there. He says local residents are screaming and begging for him to come. He even said African American ladies are begging him to step in, which I highly doubt one black person actually told you that. But let's be real, this goes way beyond one city. It's essentially a federal takeover with local policing. It breaks the line between federal and local power as well. Right now, we're watching a potential shift in American law enforcement.
Donald Trump's fixing to straighten out Chicago, y'all. You know how he cleaned up Washington, D.C.? Well, he just said that Chicago is next.
Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next.
And Mayor Johnson of Chicago and Governor Pritzker of Illinois, they are throwing a fucking fit.
You come for my people, you come through me.
Literally claiming that if he comes for their people, then they're going to come through them. I guess we'll see where that shit goes. Huh. So they think that he has absolutely no fucking right as the President of the United States to clean the United States up. He's coming for all you blue cities now. Y'all better fucking get ready. Shit.
Y'all, did you hear him say today? Did you hear him say he's going to send active duty military to Chicago and New York City? So that'll add to what's happening in Los Angeles and the occupation of Washington, D.C. And look, there were people excusing him for Washington, D.C. because people were saying it's not a state. There's the Home Rule Act. He can take it over for 30 days and so forth and so on. And we know that's not what he's doing. However, people were excusing that. But now him saying that he is very soon sending active duty military. He said because they're quicker and more efficient. He's sending them to Chicago and New York. And we know what he means. Just like he did in Washington. He's sending them to where black and brown people are. And he's not worried about homeless or crime. He's worried about people living and walking and going about their lives. He believes in military version of stop and frisk because that snake, Stephen Miller, you can see him all over these news shows talking about where black people and brown people live are worse than Libya, worse than any place you can name that's not America, that probably America messed up anyway. And Donald Trump has called these people savages. Yeah. So Chicago, be ready. And you know what? And to black people in Chicago and New York, don't die over this nonsense. Don't die over this nonsense. That's all I say. Don't die over this.